Well, we're still in a rain delay here tonight, folks. Getting ready to start off our eagerly anticipated season opener here at Crusader Field. You know, Max Cavedo was nice enough to track down someone that could share some of the memories of the tribute that we're trying to do here tonight for Coach Lou. Max, why don't you take over for me?
Thank you, Felix. Of course, we're sitting here with O-line coach Bob Enriquez. Coach, you were an alumni here at Tampa Catholic, and then you came here to coach straight out of Princeton. What are your earliest memories of Coach Lewis back in about 1985-86?
Well, I mean, as we all know, Coach Lewis was a fantastic football player. He really. I'm sorry. Now I'm on. The mic's on.
You're good.
As everyone knows, Coach Lewis was an All-American type. I mean, an All-Pro football player. And an icon as a football player in Tampa. So first, meeting him first, it was awe-inspiring. He was certainly, literally a bigger than life character, and that's really how he was. His personality, everything about him. And I actually came just to watch practice. My nephew was playing on the team at the time, and I stopped by and I was standing at the fence, and Coach Parnell Dickinson looked over and saw me standing there and looked at David. It turned out that they needed somebody to come out and help. Their offensive line coach was very busy with his job, and so I heard Parnell whisper to not so much whisper, but say to David, "Our prayers are answered." And then they both came to the fence during water break, and Coach Richard Wood was here as well. And next thing, the rest is history. We became inseparable, and I count him as one of my closest and dearest friends, a brother. We were literally we could finish each other's sentences. I could say that, but he's a wonderful, wonderful man. Miss him dearly every day. I miss him. I don't know how many times I've reached for the phone to try to call him and thought to myself, wow, he's not here. But he is here tonight, and hopefully we'll get to play and do something in his honor.
All right, that's wonderful, Coach. Now, while you coached under him, especially in those early years, he literally did the John McKay with the Buccaneers, how he literally turned a team that was the no-name and the laughing stock of the county. Within about a 4-year period, they set the school record with a 9-1 record and went on to play in the Suncoast Bowl. What was it like during that time?
Well, it was remarkable, and certainly he was able to, because of his name and his coaching acumen that he was developing, and he was able to obviously attract some great players. But he had the ability to really get the best out of people and motivate them. Back then, he was still pretty spry. He could get around. He was a pretty intimidating character. There were a couple times, some of those halftime speeches, I used to say, "Well, I just need to walk out here. I don't need to see what's going on in here," because he'd get after it pretty good. But no, he really did. And then after a couple years, he left, and I was fortunate enough to become the head coach to come after him. He had laid the foundation, and we built upon that for many, many years. A number of years later, or a few years later, I needed a defensive coordinator, defensive coach, and I called Dave and I said, I want to get the band back together. And he was nice enough to come in, and we were together for many, many years. And then we left Tampa Catholic, went to Jefferson, coached at Jefferson together, and then I had a chance to come back to Tampa Catholic. He had moved on, was coached at Blake High School. And I called him one more time, and I said, Dave, he had actually been on a coach, I think, for a year or something. And I said, Dave, we need to get the band back together one more time. And he kind of laughed, and he said, are you sure? Because TC had really been down. I said, well, you did it one time a long time ago. Now we're going to do it together. And he came to a practice or a workout. He looked at me and said, are you sure about this? And I said, because we really didn't have very much coming back. And I said, you got to believe these kids have a special spirit. It's Tampa Catholic. And that I said, well, just come to our spring game. And we were fortunate enough to win the spring game in a close game. And he came up after the game. I'll never forget the look on his face. He said, all right. He used to call me B. All right, B, I see it. I see what you're saying. I'm on board. And from there on, we, the rest is history. We had a couple great runs, a bunch of great runs, and a couple of state championship games that we weren't fortunate enough to win. But certainly, I think that obviously our the legacy that he left to this for myself personally and to this program is something that'll never be forgotten.
Wrap it up. That's wonderful, Coach. Now, as a young man, obviously yourself coming out of Princeton, you immediately came to coach. What was it like? Because obviously, besides David Lewis, there was also his buddies that he brought in, such as Richard Batman Wood and Parnell Dickinson, that played with him with the Bucs. So, what was it like being under those guys and learning not only what to do as a coach, but how to carry yourself in life?
The lessons that I learned from those guys, not just football wise, but just in general. I mean, they were a little bit older than a fair amount older than me, but a few years. But they had all kinds of experiences that I had never had. And frankly, one of the things that I learned more from David Lewis, Parnell Dickinson, Richard Wood, I learned lessons in life about diversity, about obviously, I was sort of and I can say this, I was sort of the white guy on the staff, and so we just became closer than brothers in some ways, and I learned just an awful lot. I learned the things that folks go through, and it's very timely these days. And now that we have, I think, a different understanding, or at least a time in which people are starting to try to understand each other. There's some stories that I can relate that I probably won't relate here tonight. The things that we went through together, but I really did. I learned a whole different. It was a whole different world. Cultural differences, and things that you start to realize that we're all the same, but that sometimes we have different experiences that we can grow and learn from each other and respect each other. It's just those are the things that I cherish more than anything else, because there came a time in which we were just none of that mattered. We were just family.
Those are all great stories, Coach. Thank you for sharing your memories with us of David Lewis, and we wish you luck in tonight's game.
I appreciate it. Let's go play.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're not here? They were here for it. Oh, they were? Okay. They're having last goal. They love it. I was just showing them pictures. They're at a bar right now. Oh, Lexi passed. They made it 3 over the
Go sneakers fit. Okay, cool. There we go. There we go. We're back. There you go.
Welcome to Tampa Catholic High School and another season of Crusader football. We want to welcome IMG Academy, who will be joining us tonight to kick off the season. We are pleased to bring you these live stream broadcasts for all our home games this year in our partnership with Falkenberg Productions and John Torres. With a limited number of spectators, it will be great that we can all enjoy Crusader football this year. In a special way this evening, we also honor longtime TC coach and mentor, Coach David Lewis, who passed away this summer. Our boys will be dedicating the entire season to Coach Lewis. He is deeply missed, not only as a coach, but more importantly, as a mentor to so many in the past Crusader football. Thanks to our coaches, our players, for navigating this difficult time in preparing for the season. Good luck to both teams. Go Crusaders!
Welcome to Crusader football.
Get ready for the best season yet.
We dedicate this season in honor of Coach Lewis.
We've been working hard on and off the field to lead the Crusade.
Thank you for supporting TC Athletics.
Go Crusaders!
Lewis for so many years. Rest in peace, number 57. We are presenting his wife, Bonnie Lewis, with a plaque and a bouquet of flowers. The plaque reads, "The 2021 Tampa Catholic football season is dedicated in loving memory of Coach David Lewis, Coach Lou, coach, friend, and mentor." Our players will commemorate Coach Lewis for his love and dedication to our TC football program by wearing a sticker on their helmet all season with the initials DL and his football number 57. Our TC cheerleaders and Crusader 8s will also be honoring Coach Lewis tonight by wearing his number 57. Rest in peace, Coach Lou. You will always be remembered by your Tampa Catholic family. Coach Lou!
This season as our players and coaches pay tribute to the beloved Coach Lou.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bonnie Lewis.
Just count line.
They want to beat us. They brought down some of their international guys, their national guys, whatever you call them. That's not white. I guarantee that's not white.
Well, after what seemed like an eternal rain delay, we are ready to start off our season. Calvin Felix Menendez alongside Max Cavedo as we get ready to start off the Tampa Catholic High School football season. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for staying with us as our beloved Crusaders prepare to do battle against the ascenders of IMG Academy. We are, Max, it seems like we've been here forever. And here we are, ready to start the game.
We have Felix, but of course,
If you can put those down,
where do you this is a very important game as it is against the mighty IMG.
Well, we want to thank our good friend Johnny Torres at Falkenberg Productions for making this game's production possible. He's my ace producer, and we're excited to be part of the team this year, as we'll be calling the action all season long. This is a wet,
That's one kind of fix,
field,
but it doesn't.
Thank you.
They're getting ready for what looks
I do
like
not want coaches to hear me.
the opening kickoff.
Yes, sir,
Most of my
Felix.
life.
Folks, what you probably see at home right now, they're doing their stretches after that long layoff in the locker room. Let me tell you, that is not fun.
Hey, if you're just joining us now, Max, what caused the delay? Why are we starting our game so late?
Well, Felix, a few simple words.
Good evening, ladies.
Rain, and more rain.
Athletic Association encourages you to stay at least
After,
6
like you said,
feet
what seemed
away
like
from
an
others when
eternity,
possible.
the
Wear
players
face
are ready to
coverings
take the field and
at
start
all
the home
Tampa
opener.
Catholic school events. Wash your hands frequently. Together we can slow the spread of the coronavirus. Thank you.
Maintain social distancing throughout the broadcast. You can, if you're not watching this at home, you'll notice that the stadium is sparsely attended, not because the games were not demanded. We have a sellout crowd here tonight. And there they are, the Crusaders, getting ready to take the field to start off the 2020 season. So as I was saying, the field seems like it's sparsely populated, but these games sold out within minutes on Monday. Back to your point about the wet field, though, these guys have been ready to go for what seems like hours now, and then been forced to stay in the clubhouse getting ready. What does that do to the team's psyche as they get ready to start the season? Particularly the younger players.
Well, Felix, it's a couple different ways that can go. You got the guys in the locker room that are at the locker there, around the middle. No, just a way to stay loose, stay energized, and then you got the guys that just sit down in the locker room, just take a nap.
Business as usual, huh?
Business as usual. They're trying to focus on what they got ahead, and they just want to go out and do what's most important tonight, which is winning for Coach David Lewis.
And of course, a special tribute here. They're going to dedicate the entire season to Coach Lewis, which is fantastic. Such an important and pivotal, such an important and just a rock-solid member of the community, a longtime member of this organization, and what better way to honor him and his amazing contributions to this franchise over the years. So let's take a look at some of the players to watch tonight. And we talked about it a little bit in our pregame show, but Max, who are some of the guys we should keep an eye on for this year? Some of the guys that you think could be big impacts in tonight's ballgame?
Well, Felix, for starters, you got the four big senior captains. Cole Essick, converted O-lineman, who will be playing D-line tonight.
He's a whole lot of man to handle.
Oh, yes, he is. And he's so good that he's already committed to Appalachian State. As he says it, he wants to go someplace where he can play and get those rings.
He's a bright future.
He's trying to fix it on his side.
Yes, it is. And, of course, it runs in his family because, well, Felix, because one of his uncles, Jim Rooker, was a pitcher in the MLB for a long time, and one notable was that he was a world champion on the 1979 We Are Family Pirates. So, as you could say, that he's a good athlete overall.
Well, he certainly is, and there's a lot of good athletes on this ball team. What about on the other side of the field? What's an impact player that we can expect to see tonight that you can expect to make a contribution on this wet, sloppy field?
Well, continuing with the seniors, Felix, of course, big twins, Jordan and Jaden Sandlin.
Skyscrapers.
Oh, yes, they are. They are so high that they can almost touch the sky and the clouds. And, of course, them being O-linemen, they're looking to have a fine season, and they're looking forward to going on to play ball for FAU.
But please continue.
Oh, and since we were talking about the offensive side, let's switch it up with a little bit with some of the younger players, especially two of our up-and-coming running backs, namely Tone Hill and Lewis Carter.
What do we know about them?
Well, all I know is that they are as fast as greased lightning. As freshmen last year, they almost ran for 1,000 yards each, and they are looking to capitalize on and continue that this year.
Well, the laces have been tied, the pads have been adjusted, and they are just about ready to start this thing off.
Yeah, but he's not on this camera.
We were talking
right
a little bit about momentum, Max, and having that stopping and starting there, a rain delay can cause havoc on a team's morale. It can be very frustrating when you come in with a full head of steam and your adrenaline pumping, only to be told you gotta wait. What are some experiences you've had in a situation like that when you're ready to go, but the world's not ready for you yet?
Well, since we were talking about it earlier, I was always one of those type of guys that, I just sat in my locker, try to take a nap. If not, I just sit there and sweat a whole lot.
Cool customer, huh?
Oh, yeah. It was a pretty sight, to say the least. But even after that, usually since I did play under one of Coach Lewis's dear friends and teammates, Richard Batman Wood, usually as soon as we come in during the lightning, he would immediately call us into the classroom, sit us down, and tell us what's what.
Really?
And usually that's how we stayed hot and ready to go because as unlike what you just said, he is not a cool customer because he wants to win.
Well, let's, for the folks at home that may be watching or that maybe not as familiar with Coach Lou, let's take a minute to kind of go over a little bit of the history of the man that made such a mark on this Crusader team over the years. Coach Lewis began his career attending Abraham Lincoln High School in San Diego, where he'd go on to really set the bar and attract national programs that were vying for his attention. Abraham Lincoln High School is notable for producing former NFL standouts like Marcus Allen, Terrell Davis, and Achilles Smith. I'm going to tell you more about Coach Lewis in just a minute, but it looks like we're about to welcome our 2020 Tampa Catholic Crusaders to the field. And that noise is deafening.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's game between IMG and your Tampa Catholic Crusaders. As members of the Florida High School Athletic Association, both schools would like to remind you that your participation and as spectators should adhere to the principles and good sportsmanship before, during, and after the contest.
Well, Alex, there they are, the 2020 Tampa Catholic High School Crusaders being introduced to the home crowd, accompanied by the Crusaderettes.
Important lessons is the ability to demonstrate good sportsmanship, which is a skill that serves everyone well in the game of life.
And it looks like what? We're getting ready for the coin toss.
Sportsmanlike towards our coaches, players, and officials will properly reflect on each school's commitment to excellence and support their strong tradition. Let us all conduct ourselves in this manner today. Thank you. The West Coast officials for tonight's game. Referee Reed Williams, umpire Jerome Ford, head linesman Keith Peliquin, line judge Trace Williams, back judge Thomas Lugo, and the scorekeeper timer is Joe Senku.
There we see, and it looks like Dee Dee Snyder's going to represent us for the coin toss.
Dee Dee Snyder. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for a prayer from Father Sami, followed by our national anthem.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father in heaven, we ask your blessing on the game we're about to play. Give each one of us the courage to play this game in a manner which our actions, our words, are pleasing to you. Let us enter into this competition in a spirit of sportsmanship and with a respect for the members of the opposing team. We ask you, Father, to bless each and every one of us, especially the coaches, officials, parents, and players. And in a special way, we pray for the soul of Coach David Ronnie Lewis. In this time, we offer up his soul and we pray for your peace upon his family, upon all our families here present, our players. And in this time, we remain in the hope in Christ, where we know that in Christ we will meet again. Keep us under your protection,
And we are officially underway.
Well, folks, the kickoff just happened. As you may have already seen, there's some hands getting thrown, so that may be a factor later on in the game.
Well, you know, they come out with a whole head of steam after being cooped up in that locker room for so long, so they may be not quite they're going to come in with a lot of enthusiasm, and we'll see how that plays out here in the early going.
Yes, sir, and here's the first play of the game. Holy Toledo! What a tackle!
Well, you can forget about any kind of rust on this machine. They come blaring out of the gate with a big hit. Toledo, what a play.
Like I said earlier, Felix, if this team comes out on the move, they'll be good throughout the game.
Well, setting the tone early there on the very first play. And wow, what an impact.
Woo, boy, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Looks like the rain has pretty much died off now. Second down. IMG needing a bunch of yards.
And they're lining up around the 10-yard line. Here comes the second play. Hands it off. And he's buried under a pile of Crusaders.
A lot of green in that pile.
Woo-wee. They're coming on strong, I'll tell you that. It's going to be third down on this next play.
Well, one of the things we talked about in the pregame show was losing the timing and getting in sync early on.
So far, that doesn't seem a problem with this team.
From the shotgun now. Man in motion.
Drops back the pass. Finds an open receiver. And he's tackled. Woo-wee. They are really coming out firing.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet is right, Felix. It's going to be a fourth down, and it looks like they're coming out to punt it.
Well, TC did not wanted to set the tone early here and not allow any momentum in the early going. And if that was the goal, they accomplished just that as the punt team comes out to say hello for the first time in this game.
Number 2, 18 Williams.
Maybe a little miscommunication there in that last series. Oh, there.
Oh,
miscommunication.
oh my goodness. Woo-wee. Folks, I got to tell you, David Lewis is definitely here tonight.
In spirit and...
Because guess what? The punter just fumbled the ball, and now the Crusaders are going to get it on about the 1-yard line.
If it was any better field position, they'd be in their living room. Deep in their own, well deep in their opponent's side of the field. Interesting to see what they do here now. Is it an obvious sort of punch through, or do they try to get creative here?
Well, if I know anything about the TC offensive unit, they're probably going to try and go for it on first down.
You know, we talked about it in the pregame show. This ball is going to be wet. This ground is going to be damp. And routine things that are very easy to accomplish in practice are going to be significantly more challenging. And I think we saw an example of that in that last series.
Woo-wee.
Touchdown, Tampa Catholic.
Oh, my goodness. TC carried the mail all the way home for a touchdown. Holy Toledo. And with that, the Crusaders are on the board. The score is now 6-0. And with that touchdown, the kicking team is out on the field.
Just a kind of a pretty simple playground type play, and it was just enough to cut the mustard. And they're on the board with your score. Tampa Catholic 6, IMG Academy 0.
Well, folks, it was a very good first drive, but unfortunately, IMG blocked the kick. As it stands now, the score is 6-0.
You know, that's something they drill on constantly with their special teams. is disrupting the kicker-center relationship and mess up that timing. Very aggressive, and I'm not sure how much the wet field had to play in that, but it was definitely not what they wanted. It'll be interesting to see, Max Cavedo, if later on in the game, if that point becomes crucial.
Well, that would be very unfortunate, Felix, as with their kicking, it is very vital to their game, especially with their kicker, senior Nick Navarro, who's got a very, very strong leg, let me tell you. He can kick it a mile.
The Crusaders come into tonight's game under the leadership of head coach Jairus McIntyre, defensive coordinator Richard Batman Wood, and special teams Gary Bender. We just had a chance earlier to have a very emotional interview with defensive line coach Bob Enriquez. Will McLean is at offensive line, Mike Lawrence at running backs, and our assistant coach, our special assistant, Zach Grant.
Kicking off for the Crusaders, number 35, Nick Navarro.
And here's Navarro out to kick again. I really hope that last block did not get in his head.
So typical with kickers. It's so hard not to let those mental mistakes get into your head. You start thinking about what could have been. But this kid's tough, and that's a boomer.
Like I said, Felix, he can kick it a mile.
There's another.
Oh! The IMG returners finding some room.
Up to about the 40-yard line now.
But like before, he's brought down by a pile of Crusader shirts.
So this will be the second possession for IMG Academy. Looking to answer back after the scoring drive.
You know, Felix, let's just hope that the TC defensive unit is as sharp as they were the last time.
Well, both of us had an opportunity to check them out during practice this week, and those guys look like they are ready to play. From the shotgun again.
Hands the ball off. Oh!
Nowhere to run, and the hole closed quickly.
Looks like they're not scared at all, hey, Felix?
Well, everybody has a plan until you get hit. And that defensive line was just swarming. The shotgun's intended to give the signal caller a chance to maybe get a little extra time to let a play develop. They're sticking with that shotgun. But, you know, these wet conditions, you may want to get a little closer to the center there and make that exchange a little easier.
Drops back to pass.
Interception.
Holy Toledo! It's picked off! He's going! He's going! Oh, and he is brought down just short of the goal line. But guess what, folks? The Crusaders are on the move again.
Unbelievable play. He just came out of nowhere, snatched that up. This Crusader team is proving to be, the defense is proving to be very opportunistic. They are taking advantage of perceived mistakes, and they are for real, folks. They are here to play. And this will bring up the second series for the Crusaders.
Here we go again, folks. Let's see if they can punch it in on the first play a second time.
First and 10 for what, about the 5-yard line? Maybe a yard or two on that one.
Ooh-wee, Felix. That was like looking at the Great Wall of China because there was no movement on that play.
No room for error at all, and it closed up so fast. You gotta wonder. Your score is 6-0 right now, TC on top. Looking to score again on their second possession. What are you thinking here, Alex?
Well, Felix.
Punching it in.
Well, Felix, they sure were thinking touchdown on that one, but like before, they were stopped.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and down. And one of the things about this stingy defense for the Ascenders is they work on that red zone defense. You're seeing this goal line unit very tightly packed together. closing up holes before the play has a chance to develop. It'll be interesting to see what we see here on third down. Well, they're talking about it.
Well, folks, they sure weren't shaking in their boots, because guess what? They just drove it in for another touchdown. And with that,
unbelievable. I mean, we expected a lot of movement. We expected an aggressive defensive play. These guys are not intimidated at all. They benefited from great field position. Just tremendous opportunity. Just a tremendous back-to-back series by the hometown Crusaders as they set up for the conversion. Runs it in for 2.
Holy Toledo, Felix. And it looks like that block kick will not come back to bite them.
No, it looks like they got their point back, Max. So that's going to set us up early here in the first quarter. Your score, the Tampa Catholic Crusaders 14, IMG Academy 0. Well, we're getting started here early, and we're making up for lost time, Max. The Crusaders up by 2 touchdowns, and we're midway through the first quarter.
Yes, sir, Felix. As the Crusader kicking team takes the field, they are looking good right now.
Look, they need to get their act together. You don't want to get into a situation where you're well in the hole in the first half. That leads to risky play calling. It leads to taking chances. I don't think that this team, I believe that this IMG team is going to respond very well to this. They're mentally prepared. They come into today's game. They've been in situations like this before, and I don't think they're going to be intimidated by this this crowd. I think that they're going to be looking to stay on their game, score quickly, and get back in this thing, because they don't want to be down 2-3 touchdowns this early in the game.
No, they don't, Felix, especially with this group, because with all the young players they got a fire in their bellies.
Big kick there, touchback. They'll take it from 20. Well, tonight's game brought to you by Famous Tate Appliance and Bedding Center. Since 1954, Famous Tate's been the leader in the Bay Area for appliances and mattresses. They carry over 40 different brands, and they are here to help you during this time for critical services like refrigeration, laundry, dishwashers, and more. So check out your local Famous Tate location, 11 Bay Area locations, 1 near you.
The defensive unit is set to go again. Let's see if they can repeat that magic. And that pass is going to go incomplete.
Sender pass incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10.
Now what he wanted here is they start their third possession, Max.
Yes, sir, Felix. It's going to be 2nd down from about the 20-yard line.
Well, the rain is leveled off now. IMG again in the shotgun. Single back in the backfield.
And the IMG running game is still continuing to be stuffed, Felix. It is absolutely amazing what this defensive unit is doing for Tampa Catholic.
Well, you're gonna want to adjust your game a little bit. Now, I think in a situation like this, where you got maybe a little bit of a cold sweat, you've been sitting in the locker room ready to start the game after a lengthy delay, you're gonna want to try a bread and butter type play. Now, you just want to move the chains. If they can just get 4 or 5 yards here and keep this thing moving.
Drops back to pass.
In a little trouble here. Nothing going.
He'll go the short way to complete the pass, but he's brought down immediately.
That many people rushing into one location, you'd think the McRib was back.
Crusaders hold.
Oh, you like the McRib, Cavedo. Don't lie. Don't shake your head disapprovingly.
It ain't bad, Felix. It ain't bad.
Back deep for the Crusaders, number 2, A.J. Williams.
Well, let's see if they can try to make something happen here. Just want to get rid of it at this point.
A little bit of a short kick. It's caught. Oh, he's busting loose now, folks. Oh, what a hit. Now, folks, even though that was a great return, there is a flag on the field.
Obviously, they're going to want to talk about it here. You don't want to get too excited now. You want to maintain your composure. Let's see if we can take a look at what happened here.
And it looks like it's going to be on the return team, so they'll be taking that long walk back.
Well, let's see how they respond now.
Looks like 1st and 10 for the Crusaders at the 50-yard line.
Let's see, Felix. They were able to do it with the short game. Now let's see how they do it with the long game.
They're going to pick this thing up at about midfield. Quarterback deep in the shotgun. A little high on the snap.
Woo! And it's going to fall incomplete, folks.
Knocked on the door, but nobody's home. Interesting play call there. Looks like he really wanted to kind of maybe break up the rhythm, fire across the field early. Felt like the IMG Academy was thinking run, but they reacted very quickly.
Well, Felix, that is one of the marks of head coach Jarris McIntyre. He does like to pass, but with the runners that he's got on his team, he sure can't complain.
So many weapons on this Crusader team as they come up with 2nd down.
They're going to hand the ball off.
Oh, man, towards the corner.
Oh, they're busting loose. Oh, and he's shoved out of bounds, but whoa.
Well, you were just talking about the horses in their running back factory, and wow, oh, wow. Turned the corner, and he was gone.
Yes, sir, Felix. That was an amazing run, but unfortunately, there are 2 flags on the field.
Well, let's see if they can. Let's see if we can get the call on the field now. Holding on the offense, it looks like.
Yes, sir, Felix. Unfortunately, they may have something against them here. Let's just hope this doesn't continue for the rest of the game.
2nd and 10, and we'll do it again. And holding happens on almost every play. It's just a matter of whether it gets detected or not and what sort of technique. But here we are now, 2nd down. From the shotgun.
He's going to drop back to pass, but now he's on the run.
Gets about to the line of scrimmage and
right on the 50-yard, Felix. It's going to be a 3rd down for the Crusaders.
That's going to set up a 3rd and long now, Max, and I'm sure they would like to keep this momentum going here. If the Crusaders scored in the first 2 possessions.
Yes, sir, Felix. It seems so far that the long game may not be appealing for them. Let's see if they'll switch it up on this next play.
Third down now. And there's the flag.
And it's going to be on the offense. So they'll be taking that long walk again.
Sometimes you come out too excited and you have some early success early in the game. You get excited, you get jumpy. But these guys are professionals. They're gonna tone it down, I think. and continue to see some success. They're coming fast. Under pressure.
And he's trampled, folks. Nothing but white shirts from up here. And now it's going to be a 4th down for the Crusaders, and it looks like the kicking team is coming out on the field.
Well, don't take a punt for granted. We saw earlier in the game the block kick. This field is wet, and I'm not sure if you folks at home can notice just how sloppy this thing's getting. Even though umpire dropped the ball.
Woo-wee. At this rate, they'll be rolling around in the dirt before you know it.
TC looking to just get rid of it here. Coming in fast.
A little bit of a sky kick.
Not what they were looking for.
No, sir, Felix.
Well, and with the change of possession, it looks like IMG is going to get another opportunity.
Let's see if they can capitalize on this next opportunity, Felix.
Less than a minute left on the play clock to end the first quarter.
And they're going to start their drive from about the 43-yard line. Check that, a little north of 45.
Looks like trying to turn the corner.
But to no avail, he picked up some yards, but he was brought down by the Crusaders.
Maybe about 6, almost 7 on the play.
Give or take, Felix.
Well, we appreciate you sticking with us here during this lengthy rain delay. Thanks for supporting the Crusaders. Thanks for coming out and checking out the show. And we are thrilled to be out here calling the season opener. 2nd down now for IMG.
It's going to be on about the 53-yard line. He's scrambling now. Woo-wee.
Just a bit of give and take on that one, Alex.
I will say this, Felix. This.
It's
okay. Like an Alex.
Hey, come to think of it, I got a few different Alexes in my family, so you know what? It's all right.
First quarter, Crusaders 14, IMG 0.
So at the end of the first quarter, your score, Tampa Catholic 14, IMG Academy 0.
All right, folks, it looks like we're set to go again. They switched a little bit on the field, but either way, it's the same position. And that is that the IMG Ascenders are trying to punch it in.
Trailing by 14 now at the top of the second quarter. The Crusaders got the game well in hand. IMG Academy down by at least 2 scores.
That's right, Felix.
Let's hear for the defense.
Let's hope for the defense's sake that they can keep this up. Because if they do, they sure are making Coach David Lewis happy.
Tonight's special tribute game, where we announced earlier in the program the entire season will be dedicated to Coach Lou, to honoring him tonight at a very special ceremony at the top of the game. And it looks like the IMG Academy is ready to start this thing off.
Well, just a moment. Looks like they're going to be taking a timeout for a little chatting.
Well, they're going to want to talk this over, it looks like.
Put the senior
And this very vocal crowd.
Ooh, Felix, some of those TC parents do not sound happy.
They're talking it over now, trying to figure out a way to answer this very aggressive TC defense.
Yes, sir, Felix. Let's just hope that they can keep it going.
Well, heading back on the field now.
And it looks like defensive coordinator Richard Wood is giving it to his defense because he really wants this stop.
Hey, here's an interesting bit of trivia for you. You know, Tyler, did you know that Tampa Catholic was founded in 1962?
Yes, sir, Felix. And at that time, they weren't even called the Crusaders.
Get out of here. What was the original mascot's name?
I believe it was the Colts, Felix.
This is a young guy like you know that stuff.
Well, Felix, I come from a long...
Oh, no!
Whoa!
What?
Holy Toledo, folks! IMG fumbles the ball, and they are moving back.
You know, we've seen this throughout the game, their commitment to the shotgun. We've seen several snaps that were just a little bit high, and in that instance, it bit him. He couldn't get a hold of it, and that's going to drive him back.
It's going to be a 4th down for IMG, and it looks like they're going to come out to kick.
And here comes the punt team.
Kicks it away.
Not a real high punt.
Woo-wee. And it stops a little ways downfield.
Well, if I was Coach Jairus McIntyre, I might go and build a house in midfield because these guys are spending a lot of time there today.
Yes, sir, Felix. And why? Because the defensive team for Tampa Catholic looks unstoppable at the moment.
Unbelievable.
Looks like the Crusaders will be taking over at about their 45-yard line. 1st and 10.
It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Crusaders from about the 45-yard line. Let's see if they'll stick with the tried and true method of running the ball down their throats or if they're going to try and pass.
Well, I tell you what, you're up by 2 touchdowns. It's a wet field. You may just want to play conservative now, eat some clock.
And they're going to hand the ball off. Oh, he's running through traffic. And that's going to be a 1st down for the Crusaders. Woo-wee.
Dances his way to a 1st down, and that's going to move the chains. And I think you maybe hit the nail on the head now. Is this the time to do some ball control and just sort of hang on to this thing? We've just seen what's happened with the change.
For the 1st down.
It's going to be
1st down there.
It's going to be another 1st down for the Crusaders.
Well, we've been hearing it all night long.
Yes, sir.
Kind of a simple one there. Did they hold it? Does he hold on to the ball?
I don't know what just happened there, Felix. I didn't see him hand off the ball. Obviously, they didn't throw it. Kind of just stopped in the middle of that play.
Well, they're going to rethink it now.
Let's just hope that the referees make a quick one of this one.
Looks like the Crusaders pick up about 6. Bring it up about 3rd and 4.
Short field now.
Ooh, Felix, I know I got glasses and I should see, but I must be seeing things because it looked like that ball didn't move, but looks like the Crusaders are on the move. It's going to be 2nd and 4.
Well, it looks like it was our monitor, not the feed at home, because I'm hearing from my producer that was well played. 3rd down.
They're going to hand the ball off again, and he's going to fight through traffic.
Should be enough there for a 1st down. Crusaders now making another trip here, working the red zone.
It's going to be a 3rd down for the Crusaders. Let's see if they stick with the running game, because right now they are on fire.
You know, there's so much of the season can come down to the momentum that you build in the opening night, and these guys are really making a statement very early on here in this ball game.
Yes,
and
sir.
they're within striking distance again.
They're going to hand the ball off again.
Turning the corner now.
And they're going to get that traction. It's going to be another first down for the Crusaders, a lot closer to the goal line. And from what I can see up here, IMG is not happy. Felix, like we were talking about earlier.
What's that?
This team is obviously a young team, and they came to play tonight. Like we were saying earlier, if they get on a roll, there is no stopping this team, and it looks like that's what's happening right now.
Well, we talked about it a bit in the pregame show. Whenever you've got – this team's no stranger to playing in wet conditions, and you certainly can talk from experience of playing on wet fields. Ooh, see that's –
drops back the pass.
Still got time. Can't get loose.
Felix, I don't know about that one because so far the passing game has worked very minimally for the Crusaders. Let's see what they're going to do about this one.
Well, if you're watching at home and thinking that you'd like to be a Crusader too, check out www.tampacatholic.org/admissions, where you can become part of this great legacy and excel academically, spiritually, athletically here at this fine institution.
Coming up on this next play, it's going to be second and a long way to go for the Crusaders.
Looks like I think he's going to try to punch it in here.
He tosses it. Woo-wee. And he's brought down almost immediately. He definitely picked up a couple yards, but at this point, with the long way that they got to go, I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference, Felix.
Well, the good news is they're eating a lot of time. They're working the clock, and they're not giving the IMG Academy a whole lot of time to put up some points here in this first half. They are moving the ball, and I'm sure they'd like to be in a different position right now. 11 yards to go now for the first down. 3rd and 11.
Drops back to pass. He tosses it, and he's open.
Touchdown, Crusaders.
Holy Toledo! It's bombs away for the Crusaders, and they're on the board again. The score is now 20-0.
You know, they looked down at that 3rd and 11, and they said, I'm not going to be intimidated by this. I'm going to pick up that yardage. What I liked about that play is that he looked downfield, saw an opportunity, saw his receiver open, and they're going to call time now. Well, as they get set up for the next play, we're going to take a brief time out ourselves and be back after this message.
A.J. Williams on the reception, bringing up 4th and 1.
Well, folks, it looks like from this angle we were not able to get the right vantage point as that was not a touchdown. The receiver who caught it looked very happy, but it looks like all for naught as it's going to be a 4th down for the Crusaders. They're going to hand the ball off.
Big stuff.
And it looks like IMG is finally going to get the stop.
Ascenders take over on downs.
And with that, the Tampa Catholic defense is about to come out again. Let's see, with about 4 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the quarter, can they keep the score at 0 for IMG?
Well, they'd love to have a shutout here tonight in their season opener. IMG taking the ball deep in their own territory. They got a long way to go, but as we've seen, this team has the ability to strike fast, strike hard, no mercy.
And they just started the play, but the refs' whistles blew immediately. Let's see what's coming up.
Looking like a false start, maybe?
Yes, sir. It looks that way, Felix. It's going to be a penalty on IMG, and they are going to be moving quite scarily for them closer to the end zone.
Well, if they get pushed any further out of this field, we're going to have to switch to Canadian rules.
Let's see, Felix. Can the Tampa Catholic defense repeat that magic?
There's the handoff. Trying to turn the corner.
And it looks like they can. IMG is stuffed once again. And it looks like it's going to be a 2nd and long for IMG.
You know, at this point, you really just want to make something happen here. You just want to get this Tampa Catholic defense scared. You want to demonstrate that you can move the ball, and they really need to do something here.
Bringing up 2nd and 15.
Because you don't want to be going into halftime trailing 2. But even at this point, a field goal would be a good movement.
Yes, it would be, Felix. And he's going to drop back the pass, and the quarterback is sacked. Holy Toledo, they are on fire.
I think we should just cut the feed and you just say Holy Toledo all night, because that's my new favorite catchphrase.
Oh, well, thank you, Felix.
I'm writing that in my little book of catchphrases.
He's a senior. He's the leading tackler on the team. Why are we doing this?
Well, I don't think anybody expected this outcome tonight.
For the Ascenders. Let's hear it for the defense.
Definitely not, Felix, especially against IMG. For myself, I have not seen them play like this against this team in many, many years.
Well,
and it's going to be a 3rd down, and they're going to try and scramble, but
nothing doing, stuffed well down.
It's the same story all night long, Felix. IMG has not been able to gain barely an inch.
Safety! Crusaders up 16-0.
Well, we'll take 2 on that play.
Yes, sir, Felix.
And they will be receiving the ball.
And immediately the Crusaders are about to get the ball back. Let's see if they're going to try and choose some clock or if they're going to try and score again.
I think the safe play here is just to eat up some clock, move these chains, and let's just get out of here. And if they get an opportunity to score again, sure. I don't expect them to come out of here running and gunning, shooting that ball all over the field, and then risking a possible turnover. I think you'd like to go into halftime with that goose egg staring them firmly between the eyes.
Of course, Felix. Especially the way this defense is playing, you want to give them as much room to work as possible.
Can I have your attention? There is someone at the gate with a very large DoorDash order.
Well, we got to get those DoorDash orders in there.
Ooh, Felix. Even though there aren't a lot of fans, apparently a father brought a large family to the game tonight. If I were him, I might have a heart attack when I see that, Bill.
Tampa Catholic with so much success on and off the field. 6 members of last year's varsity team received scholarships to continue to play at the collegiate level. How about that?
Oh, yes, Felix. And the standout among that group is DJ Taylor, who has gone on to play ball for Arizona State.
Pretty impressive for a student body, but this number's about 700.
Oh, yes, Felix. We may be small, but over the years, we definitely have prided ourselves on football.
There's the kick. Nice kick to about the 30-yard line.
It's caught, and he's nonchalantly, but looks like he's starting to turn the Jets on.
And it'll be out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
Ooh, Felix, he was dancing like James Brown at a live concert, but unfortunately, he's going to get pushed out of bounds.
Yep, but that is what a good spot to be in, though. 40 yards to go, about 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock before we move into halftime.
Yes, sir, Felix. Now let's see if they're going to stick to the tried and true running game that may result in a touchdown, but at this point, if I were them, I'd just be trying to get off the field as quick as possible.
Well, we'll see about that. I definitely think they're going to be talking it over at halftime just to see what's working, what's not, how to react, and what they can do to get some points on the board.
I will say this, Felix. One guy that's going to be very happy, but he won't let you really know about it, is the defensive coordinator, Batman Wood. His unit has been on fire so far tonight.
Well, I can't get a good angle on him from where we're at, but he's got to be grinning ear to ear.
Woo-wee. They're going to hand the ball off that looks like it's Rafakici.
Wow. Look
Oh, my goodness.
Nobody.
He's off to the races. And just like a racehorse, he's going to run all the way around that track for a touchdown. And with that, the Crusaders score again. It is now 22-0.
Well, to recap, they scored a touchdown, missed the extra point, or missed the conversion. Then they scored a second time, picked up 2 points, scoring here. But before that, there was a safety. So we're sitting at 22-0. And here comes the special teams.
Felix, to be honest with you, the way they're playing, they might as well just run the ball all night. The IMG defense has barely been able to stop this team so far.
Well, they're certainly going to make some adjustments at halftime. Kind of see what's working, what's not, as we talked about earlier. They need to find a way to get back into this game, and they got to capitalize. They got to create some turnover opportunities. There's the kick. It's the uprights.
And Navarro's kick is good. The score is now 23 Tampa Catholic, IMG nothing.
Well, as Tampa Catholic gets ready to wrap up, which should be the last possession.
With 2:29 left in the first half. Crusaders 23, IMG nothing.
Let's take a break and take a look at some of the sponsors that are here to support us this evening. Special thanks to our friends at First Citrus Bank, as well as all of our sponsors here tonight, as the Crusaders get ready to kick off.
Ooh, and Navarro just booted that one away.
Rifle-like kick. Dodges one defender.
Woo! I'll tell you, these Tampa Catholic defenders are not messing around tonight, Felix.
On the kickoff coverage, holding the Ascenders inside the 20, bringing up 1st and 10.
Well, the Ascenders not getting great field position throughout this evening. And you got to wonder how much that is affecting things like play calling, their overall unit cohesion. Of course, being down by a bunch is certainly going to affect what they're going to try to do here. I'm thinking if I'm calling the play, I just want to make something happen, anything, but go into the half to keep my guys motivated and stay in this game.
Yes, sir, Felix. If I were the IMG head coach, I'd play it like David Lewis in his prime. As soon as I walk into the locker room, I chuck the chalkboard at somebody and ask, what is going on?
Little handoff there going nowhere.
And, of course, the IMG has not been able to do anything so far.
Crusader defensive line making that stop for no gain. Let's hear it for the defense.
The line swarming on that last play. There was just no place to go.
No, Felix, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
No, there
Anywhere.
wasn't.
There was nowhere they could have gone.
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe forward.
Maybe.
Forward would have been good. But that's not. Didn't do that.
IMG's going to drop back the pass. Oh, my. Oh. Well, he tried to get it up there, but unfortunately there were two Crusaders in his face. Even though he got it off, it's going to fall incomplete.
Once again, when they go back and look at the game film on that, though, they're going to see that snap, again, was a little high. I felt like it took him a half a second to grasp the ball, get the play started, and that half a second allowed the defensive line to come rushing through there and disrupt his timing. And if a quarterback can't get his timing down, it's going to be a long night. Well, they're getting a single in here now.
Let's see. It's going to be a third down for IMG.
What do we know about the halftime show tonight?
Well, Felix, there's not much information about that. The Crusaderettes are probably going to be doing something. But if anything, worst case scenario, we'll talk a little bit more. And then if all else fails, we'll probably cut to commercial.
Well, they're going to talk it over now with the official. Well, I got to say now, with all the challenges that 2020 has brought, it's great to see high school football back in full swing. Great to see our Crusaders out there doing a number on the opposition and really electrifying the home crowd, Max Cavedo.
Yes, it is, Felix. It's almost like a great big Christmas present that you've been waiting to unwrap, as surprisingly, this is the first sport to return for Tampa Catholic.
Well, very excited. The official now signaling to put 1:20 back on the play clock. Your score, Tampa Catholic 23, IMG Academy Ascenders, nothing.
Let's go defense!
So with that, we're going to get the reset going, and here we go, Max.
Yes, sir, Felix. Let's see what IMG does on this play.
Trying to get something going here.
Going to drop back the pass.
Oh, knocks a little floater across the field, but they weren't able to connect.
And it looks like there was a flag thrown on the field. It looks like it was a hold.
Probably going to decline it here.
Let's see what they'll do, Felix.
So they decline the penalty, and they're going to repeat.
IMG set to punt.
It's going to be a fourth down for IMG, and with that, they're going to come out to punt.
A.J. Williams.
I'm going to be honest with you, Felix.
What's that?
You're
not being honest prior to this moment?
I'm sorry, just a force of habit, Felix. But if I were IMG's head coach, at halftime, I'd be giving a Kurt Russell-esque inspirational speech like from the movie Miracle. Because right now, they might need some miracles if the game keeps going like this.
Well, not much of a punt there. They're going to stop it there. About a minute left on the clock. Maybe time to run a play or two, or maybe just burn it off. And
now I'm certain that head coach Jarris McIntyre for Tampa Catholic, he's going to play it safe and run the ball. They just get out of this half of the game.
Well, they call him Coach J-Mac.
Yes, they do.
Is that public knowledge, or is that?
Well, among the players and most of the parents, you know, it's just one of those things that came into being. I don't know where it started, but it picked up, and that's just his name.
It might have had something to do with his name being Jarris McIntyre.
Yes. Maybe it's.
Gotta love the analysis.
Yes, it is. Maybe it's something along, you know, it rhymes with some things like J-Mac, Big Mac. Who knows?
Hey, what's special about the number 25,000?
25,000.
Don't look at your cheat sheet. Tell me, what's the special thing about 25,000?
I'm not sure, Felix. Why don't you explain it to me?
Well, let me just tell you that over 25,000 community service hours are earned by our students every year here at Tampa Catholic. That's a whole lot of helping, folks.
Yes, sir, Felix. Tampa Catholic takes pride in helping out the community, especially those that are among the poorest.
Absolutely. Following our Christian message. First down now. Not a great snap.
He caught the ball. Oh, they were able to connect on that one, and they were stopped just short of the first down. So it looks like they're going against what we were thinking before. Looks like they are passing it.
Let's see if they're going to call a timeout here.
Bring it up 2nd and 4.
IMG looks like they're going to let the clock run. Maybe look for more pleasant shores to stage their comeback.
And it looks like IMG is going to get a penalty called on them for some reason. I'm not sure. But either way, the Crusaders are continuing to march downfield. And with that penalty, they are going to get a first down.
Clock continuing to wind down now. Just under 30 seconds.
They're going to drop back to pass.
He's
scrambling. Oh, my goodness. Bombs away for the Crusaders. And
they're inside the red zone.
Woo-wee, Felix. Sure as day, they are on the move. And let's see what they're going to do with 11 seconds left in the quarter.
I don't know. Maybe at this point, bring out the kicking team, take the safe. Maybe there's just enough time maybe to call one more play and still have time to get that kicker out.
You know, right now it begs the question for Jairus McIntyre that Clint Eastwood once asked. Does he feel lucky?
I feel like everything has been breaking their way this evening, so he may feel like this is an opportunity.
Yes, sir, Felix. Obviously, as far as what we were discussing earlier in the game, obviously the Crusaders are not getting any effects from the wetness because
that rain's basically died off, right? We haven't seen any more, even mistiness.
Yeah,
it's a nice, it's a pleasant evening. Great temperature for football.
That it is, Felix. That it is. And right now, it just seems like nothing is going IMG's way.
Washington pass complete all the way down to the 11-yard line.
Well, I mean, one more play, timeout, let them try.
Let's see what they do here now. Just 11 seconds left on the clock. Max Cavedo. So we'll have to see what they come up with here. Play it safe.
Who knows, Felix? Let's see if J-Mac does feel lucky.
From the shotgun now. He's looking to throw. No, he's going around the corner. In and out of the hands.
Ooh, that was so close, Felix. So close. He kind of had to go down and get that one. That was just too tough a play to make.
It was gutsy. He was looking to try to make something happen. That's going to stop the clock with about 6 seconds left here in the closing moments of the second quarter.
And it looks like head coach Jairus McIntyre is going to try and go for it again with 6 seconds left.
Well, I get the conventional wisdom here. If I can punch it in here, throw another one, and then I still have time to bring out my kicking team with a second or two left.
Let's see, Felix.
I would expect him to try to throw again here. I just feel like this is what we're trying to do.
He's passing again, and it's going to fall incomplete.
2 seconds left on the game clock here in the first half as Tampa Catholic High School has the IMG Academy Ascenders well in hand.
And Felix, it looks like Coach McIntyre has seen enough. He's sending out the kicking team to get the sure points.
Well, he'll look to pound 3 more onto this and make that score 26-0. Not a blowout. Stranger things have happened. A lot of football left in this game.
Yes, sir, Felix.
And that could be the trap. And that's what you don't want to see happen. You don't want to feel that you've got your opponent down. You're in control. There's the kick.
Oh, and it's a block kick. They're scrambling for the ball.
But it's all for naught. They'll miss out on the 3 points, but that's going to end the first half with your score. Tampa Catholic 23, IMG Academy 0.
the two guys outside of the guy Eddie took is the guy who blocked the punt. Because their whole team was on this side of the ball. Come on. We need those points in big games. Last time we were playing Jesuit, and they were on the 2-yard line, we were second. And they blitzed for no apparent reason, because the one call, because they said they heard something different. They blitzed right on the guy. Because when he walked in, he was in the picture and the papers everywhere. He just walked in because he went the opposite way.
12 minutes on the clock.
Here at Tampa Catholic, we study hard.
On their next touchdown, they were able to make it up with a 2-point conversion. That made the score 14-0. And then later on, they got a safety by that amazing Crusader defense. That made it 16-0 at that point. And in the last scoring drive they had, they scored on a touchdown pass in the end zone, and that made the score 23-0.
Well, the Crusader D has really been all over the place all night long. And wow, I got to say, I thought it would be a much closer game. There's plenty of football left here. Certainly enough time for a very professional organization like their opponents to put it together and find a way to win. The Ascenders in a hole, but they come out looking very loose. I don't know what the coach said to them at halftime, but I got to think they're going to try to alter their plan. They've got to find a way to turn their fortunes around early here in the second half if they've got any chance of pulling away and creating the upset. Head coach Jairus McIntyre's got his guys looking very loose. I'm not sure what was said tonight. You know, tonight is a very special event. Today's game brought to you and dedicated by our departed friend, Coach Luke.
Yes, sir, Felix. It's a very somber night for sure. But right now, it looks like that they're going to be able to give him a present with a win in the home opener.
Well, what better way to celebrate the man's life than pulling off a big win here in his honor. And there we see our Crusaderettes Special thanks tonight to our production crew that's been doing just an amazing job all night long, capturing all these great shots. That, of course, is our senior producer, Johnny Torres at Falkenberg Productions. Johnny, if they want to find out more about you and maybe get you involved in their organization, is it falkenbergproductions.com? falkenbergproductions.com, where you can create some great memories like our Crusaders are doing here tonight. Well, we got a late start with all that rain, Max, and, you know, we were worried that maybe that would have an effect on the Crusaders coming out of the tunnel, getting so psyched up for the season opener, only to be told the wait was almost 2 hours, that rain delay.
Yes, it was, Felix. It was a very long and painful wait. I can tell you from experience, those kind of waits are not fun.
No, not at all, and, you know, that stopping and starting can be a major, if I get ready to kick off now, to start off the second half.
Ooh, kind of a line drive kick. It's not going to be caught.
Yeah, they're gonna.
And it looks like the Crusaders are going to be starting on the 20-yard line.
Well, they had the hot hand throughout the first half, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that momentum going into the second half. A lot of things working in the first half. They were running the ball well. They were faking that short and intermediate passing game. Was very much able to become a factor in this. And it will be interesting to see now if the Crusaders can keep that momentum and not allow any breathing room. Offense taking the field now at about the 20-yard line.
Ooh, Felix, they are getting hyped up in this stadium. They want it to be a higher score as they hand off the ball. They're going to be running again. He's going to be smacked out of bounds.
Nice little pitch and toss to try to get around the line and cut across the field. They're all moving real well tonight. You're seeing a lot of enthusiasm. This team looks well conditioned. They look well prepared. And I got to think, if the only thing that could do them in may be overconfidence.
It might so be, Felix, but right now they are looking good.
I don't think Coach Jairus McIntyre is going to allow this team to feel overconfident. They got to keep that eye of the tiger and play as if their life depended on it.
They're going to toss it again. He's got to run through traffic, and he's able to move the pile a little bit, but he's going to be brought down.
Well, they're trying different things. They're really trying to keep the chains moving, eat this clock. They don't want to give their opponents a lot of time to stage a comeback. If they can play ball control offense, eat a lot of clock, and let their defense continue to smother them, I don't see a pathway to victory for IMG. But stranger things have happened. And again, it's just 23-0, but they got to make something happen here in the second half.
Who knows, Felix? Crazy things happen under a full moon.
Indeed, they do.
And it looks like it's gonna be a timeout. And head coach Jairus McIntyre is out to talk to his team.
Interesting to see what did he see there that he didn't like.
I don't know, Felix. Right now, everything's going pretty much their way, but maybe he did see something.
Well, they're clicking on all cylinders. I mean, they're definitely, all the moving parts are working the way they intended, but there's something he didn't like there, and they're going to talk it over.
It looks like he's finally decided on what he wants as they go back out there.
Crusaders looking at a 2nd and 7.
So a 2nd and long now, 2nd and 7. Let's take a minute to thank our sponsors that we've been sharing with you throughout this evening for supporting both of our major fundraising events this year. Our annual DiMaggio Memorial Golf Classic and, of course, the annual Cross and Shield Gala. 2nd and 7 now. Drops back to pass in the breadbasket.
And they're going to be busting loose. Oh, my goodness. Some of the IMG players are starting to look a little furious out there as the runner just got shoved out of bounds.
Frustration can set in at any level, and it's up to the coach to really rein that in. You got to turn that frustration into motivation. You got to find a way to, but if they start getting frustrated, if they start to feel like they're cornered and they can't find a way to turn this thing around, there's no pathway to victory.
You're certainly right, Felix. And really the telltale sign will be if they start fighting amongst themselves, because if they do, it may mean the end for them in this game. And they're going to hand off the ball again. He's going to get a few yards, but he's going to end up at the bottom of a white pile of IMG jerseys.
Up the gut, looks like about 4 or 5 yards on that one.
It's going to be a 2nd down for the Crusaders.
At about the 47, 48-yard line.
They're going to run the ball again. He's going to go outside, and he's going to gain yards, but it's the same story as last time. He's going to be brought down, but they are on the move.
About 2 yards from that 1st down marker now.
And with that last run, it's going to be a 3rd down for the Crusaders.
Well, these live stream broadcasts are made possible thanks to the generous contributions of donors and our great advertising partners. If you're interested in sponsoring our live stream broadcasts for future home games, please contact the Tampa Catholic Advancement Office. They'd love to hear from you. Third down now. About 7 minutes left in the game clock.
Oh, my goodness. IMG just stuffed Tampa Catholic as they were handing off the ball. And now it looks like it's really starting to come out as their players shoving each other.
Well, you got to look at all the factors that got us to this point. TC has got a commanding lead here in the 3rd quarter. You've got the rain delay that pushed the game back almost an hour and a half. Not the kind of game I think that we were expecting to see. A little bit lopsided. And you're going to see this. You're going to see tensions mounted with these. But these guys are professionals. They're both from outstanding programs.
That they are, Felix. And IMG right now is just looking to get something started.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Tampa Catholic just snapped the ball. It got fumbled, and they just got stifled. And with that, IMG is going to get the ball on downs.
Well, certainly looking much less passive than the first half. The Ascenders looking a a little more aggressive, maybe getting to the ball a little quicker. And I think that the timing wasn't quite there between the center and the quarterback. Not the best snap. You saw the lose control of the ball. But for the most part, TCs have run a very clean ball game. Let's not forget these kids had class for 8 hours before they got out here, too. This has been a long day.
That it has, Felix. Between the rain delay, you know, the ceremony honoring Coach Lou, this has been both a long and pretty emotional day.
A day of highs and lows, and as in any team sport, you want to hold your center. You want to keep that stuff in check because that's how you make mistakes. It'll be interesting to see now. This will be the first possession for the Ascenders in the second half.
Maybe they'll get something going this time, Felix.
Again in the shotgun.
They're going to hand the ball off. He's going to run through the middle, and he's able to break loose.
First down and a bunch more.
Man, Felix, I think that's the first time tonight IMG has been able to move the ball somewhat well. Let's just hope this isn't a sign of things to come.
Well, of course, we always got to try to stay partial, but the good guys are up by 23, so we'll just have to see how this plays out. First down now, fresh set of downs from the shotgun.
Oh, my goodness, it's another bad snap for IMG, and this time the quarterback didn't want to take any chances. He just laid down on the ball. He was not trying to risk a turnover.
Well, he quickly smothered it, and that's heads-up thinking. Wasn't a good snap. We talked about earlier whether the wet ball might have something to do with it, but I got to think this field has held up pretty well. Not sure how much of a factor that was, but again, they continue to run their offense out of the shotgun.
Let's see.
Having some harrowing moments here.
Yes, sir, Felix.
There's a perfect snap.
And they're gonna run the ball on this one, and they're gonna get no ground. Literally, the IMG running back just got stood up.
Indeed he did.
Ascenders stopped by a host of Crusaders for very little gain, bringing up third down.
It's going to be a third down for IMG. For their sakes, they better get something going because right now it is not looking too good.
IMG definitely needs to score here. I feel like they have to do something in this drive. They've got to cut this distance between them if they have any hope of taking the command back to this game.
Like at this point, a field goal or something, and
whistle dead. It's probably going to be on the offense.
Let's see what the ref is going to call. And it's going to be a timeout.
See if we can get some clarification here on which team called the timeout. Looks like that will be TC's timeout. And that'll be the first timeout of the second half, leaving them with 2. Well, today's game brought to us today. There is a flag. Sorry about that. Some production challenges there on that last play.
Well,
flag. It was a timeout.
Well, folks, after the timeout, we're all set to go again. It's IMG's ball. Drops back to pass. He's able to get it off, and it's complete. Oh, my goodness. IMG scored a touchdown.
And this crowd's not real happy about it, but that's going to be touchdown Ascenders.
Man, Felix, Crusaders, even after the touchdown, they were still trying to scramble for the ball.
Well, we talked about it at halftime. You got to make those kind of corrections. You got to look at what's working and what's not working and change your plan. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit.
Yes, sir.
And when you come into a game like this and just virtually nothing's working in the first half, they've got to rethink themselves, rethink their plan, and they seem to be coming out a lot more spry, a lot more playing off the balls of their feet, certainly more aggressive, and that's going to be a touchdown.
And the kick is going to be good. The score is now Tampa Catholic 3, IMG 7.
That'd be 23, Tampa Catholic. Oh.
Thank you, Felix.
That'd be 23 to 7. And with the change of sides, let's take a moment to thank our sponsors.
I can't wait to watch it again. I want to see where that kid came from. Did you see where it came from, Artie?
Yeah. Slot.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
No one picked him up?
No one picked it up. He was by himself. He peeled off from the slot position like this. Kind of just.
It looked like he was deep this side, though, right? Or no?
This side? Yeah. Towards the center? Or no? Maybe. Hey, don't be surprised they do a little squiggly right here. Got on the roof.
So with the score by the Ascenders, we're now looking at a 23-7 ball game. They are finally showing some signs of life. IMG finally putting some points on the board. Max Cavedo, what is your analysis as we look at this kick?
Well, Felix, obviously they changed something in the locker room. I don't know what it was, but they definitely came out a lot sharper, a lot more enthusiastic. And because of that, they were able to score a touchdown and chip away at the deficit.
Well, they still got a very high hill to climb and not a ton of time left. They got just about 4 minutes in the third quarter, and this is not insurmountable. This is not a situation where this is a 45-point blowout. This game is very winnable by them, and Tampa Catholic needs to get focused, to capitalize on opportunities, and walk away with a victory here tonight.
And from what I see right now, Felix, as a former player that under Richard Batman Wood, right now I see on the sideline that he is talking to his team. Of course, for myself, that means that he is a little unhappy because he always loves to go for that shutout, but right now he's just reassuring that defense, keep the gas, keep the foot on the pedal, and don't let up.
Well, you got to like that run just there. He didn't give up on it. He kept pushing forward, a little bit of a shuffle there, fighting for that extra yard or two, and that extra yard or two can be the difference.
That it can, Felix, and like we were talking about early in the broadcast, the Crusaders just have a remarkable stable of horses that they can go to. They got it all. They got speed, they got the ability to run through the pile, and heck, they got a combination of both. So since it's working, if I were them, might as well just stick to the running game.
Absolutely, and for the Crusaders, I think they're going to want to try to eat some clock. But look at this, slashing his way upfield.
Woo-wee.
That is going to move that chain, and that's going to set up a new series of downs.
Talk about being like Mr. James Brown, because he's dancing his way through the pile there, Felix.
Big James Brown fan, are you? Are you, Cavedo?
A little bit. I get that, of course, from Batman Wood, because he used to tell us stories that when he wakes up in the morning, he likes to listen to a little James Brown, and that's how he gets his day started.
Well, it certainly beats a bowl of Wheaties.
And they're going to hand the ball off again. He's going to go to the outside, dancing his way. Oh, my goodness, he's off to the races. He's going. He's going. They're not going to touch him. Holy Toledo. That's another touchdown for the Crusaders. And with that, they're going to make it an even 30. The score is now Tampa Catholic. Oh, check that. 29. They haven't kicked the extra point yet.
Do the extra point first before you give them the point there. But yep, 29-7 is your score. I know you get excited. I know that was pretty quick. Not even moved. And I don't see any flags, right? We're all good?
We're all good.
A beauty of a run. A beauty of a run, Max Cavedo. It was very impressive. They answered back to the scoring drive with a score of their own, cutting the deficit, and now for the extra point.
And Navarro's kick is up and good. Shoot, he kicked that ball so far, by the time it lands, it's going to be in another zip code. And now the score is Tampa Catholic 30, IMG 7.
Crusaders 30.
Well, a nice round number, 30 points, 23 points separating the two teams. Now getting late in the third quarter. Do you believe in miracles, Max Cavedo? Because if you do,
Yes.
no, you do, of course, right. But the point is, for these guys, they've got to find a way to stop this offense that they don't have an answer to. Everything seems to be firing on all cylinders. I just don't know. We're running out of time. And I don't know that there's enough time left to get them out of this hole.
I completely agree with you, Felix. Right now, they are looking for a little magic from Al Michaels. Maybe they will pull off the miracle like the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, but we're going to see in a minute.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened, of
course. But for right now, the good guys are up by a bunch.
Oh, yes, Felix. And right now, they look like they're not going to stop. And with that, Navarro is going to come back to kick it away.
He's been doing a great job all night.
Yes, sir. Obviously, that blocked first kick at the beginning of the game has not affected him at all. And with that, a little more shoving, but of course, the Crusaders are going to stifle IMG. So it's going to be a first down for them, but it's going to be a long way to go.
Well, we hope you'll join us on Friday, September 11th for our next broadcast. Looking ahead a bit, the Tampa Catholic Crusaders will be facing the Clearwater Central Catholic Marauders at 7 p.m., which we hope there'll be no lightning and rain.
Of course, Felix, and that is another big rivalry for this school. If that's going to be part of the big three for Tampa Catholic this year. Again, looking forward, it's going to be CCC, Jesuit, and Berkeley. And hopefully, if they play those games like they played tonight, they should do fine.
Well, stuffed like a turkey, no place to go.
How's he doing, David?
That'll bring up second down. Max, is this what you expected? We talked about, of course, I think you felt like in the pregame that maybe this was going to be the first major test for the Crusaders.
That it was, Felix. In the last few years, IMG has really taken it to Tampa Catholic. I knew it was going to be a good game tonight, as that pass is going to go incomplete. Really, I was hoping that it was going to be a good game tonight. I wasn't expecting this score. So, really, as far as I can tell, right now, IMG is running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off because they don't know what is going on.
Well, eventually, if you throw enough pasta to the wall, something's going to stick, but they're not finding success. And I like what they're trying to do to set up that short passing game and maybe draw some of these defenders off the line and from crowding the line. But I don't know. I just don't see they need to make something happen here.
They do, Felix, because right now it is looking pretty bleak as the IMG drops back to pass. He's going to get his fingertips on the ball, but to no avail. It's going to be incomplete.
Pass falls incomplete, bringing up an ascendor punt.
What's an ascender?
And with that incomplete, it's going to be fourth down. And with that, they're going to send out the punt team again. Really, Felix, I don't know what they can do at this point because nothing has gone their way.
I think what they need to find a way to do is to not try to go for the whole thing. I like what he's trying to do. He's trying to take little yards and bunches, but that's not going to seem to be effective. At this point, you may just want to go for it. I mean, shock them. Throw the ball downfield. Make something, what do you got to lose at this point?
Crusaders take over on the 44-yard line of the Ascenders.
And after another short punt by IMG, the Crusaders are going to be set up in good field position to go for another one.
Well, they got a nice little homestand coming up here over the next 3 games. The first away game will be in Zephyr Hills on September 25th. Then they got Berkeley Prep home on October 2nd. Then they travel to Winter Haven.
The Crusaders are set to go again. They're going to hand the ball off, and they're going to be brought down immediately. Looks like it's going to be a 2nd and long for the Crusaders.
Nothing fancy on that one. Just a little handoff there, trying to maybe make something happen. Just to kind of set up the 2nd down.
I mean, at this point, they got nothing to lose. They're up 23 points.
I think that you don't want to get into a situation where you're in a situation where you're just wearing out the clock. You want to move the chains. You want to keep the opposing defense on off their game. Oh, that wasn't
the bad
coverage.
Snap. Oh my goodness! Holy Toledo! The Crusaders made something out of nothing. Even though it was a bad snap, they were still able to get the ball off and pick up a 1st down.
Well, talk about making egg salad out of some broken eggs. I mean, that was not the way that play was intended to go down. But you got to give the quarterback credit for being heads up, looking for something, made something out of nothing, and was able to move the ball. Well done.
You couldn't be more true, Felix. I couldn't have said it better myself.
No, you couldn't?
No.
That was it, huh? That was about as true as you could say it. I'm impressed.
Pretty good, Felix.
Well, you're being honest. 1st down now.
They're going to hand the ball off again, and this time they're going to be stifled.
I got to think that the defense was looking for that. There was a lot of guys there on the side of the field. He ran into a wall of white and blue.
And as the clock is winding down, we're going to be coming close to the end of the 3rd quarter.
Look, you got a big lead. It's late in the game.
Short game, bringing up 2nd and a long
Still got an
time.
entire quarter to play yet as we wind down now.
And that's going to do it. That's the end of the 3rd, folks. We're going to the 4th. The score is still Tampa Catholic 30, IMG 7.
Ready.
Miriam's reading a novel. Miriam's reading.
I have.
Yeah, she might be.
I was watching I told my kids I'm watching the game so I'm watching on live to see if there's one of them. And then a few of them are watching. But my phone just sent me a picture they have on the big screen in front of the fire.
Well, for IMG Academy, we're coming to the final rounds. They may want to stop by and visit the chapel because they need a miracle to pull themselves out of this fire. Wouldn't you agree there, Max?
I do agree, Felix. And they're set to go again. A little bit of a high snap.
Yeah, we saw that.
Oh, my. Bombs away for the Crusaders. What a throw and what a catch. That's a touchdown.
And what a touchdown. They just continue to add points on top of points. Unbelievable. Just what a way to open the season. And they're just adding insult to injury at this point.
Yes, sir, Felix. And in the words of the great Jack Buck, I don't believe what I just saw.
And Navarro now to make the kick for the extra point.
And it's good. Really, ever since his first opportunity at the beginning of the game, he has been sharp.
Crusaders 37.
Look, there's just, at this point, we're playing for pride. I mean, there's not much to do except to look ahead to the next opponent, learn the lessons from this game. Of course, if I'm talking about IMG Academy. You know, learn the lessons from, and maybe get some seniors out here and give them an opportunity to get some playing time. Maybe some of your younger players, maybe get them out here and let them have some experience on the field, because as much as we want to make this thing interesting, and it sure has been a great game, the score seems to be getting out of hand, and with 9:51 left on the clock, I just don't see a way back home for the Ascenders.
And you know what, Felix? It's the same way for the Crusaders, too. There are some guys on this roster that have been waiting their turn, and they've been waiting a long time to be able to get a chance like this. And right now, they're in the perfect position to send out some of their other guys to get some playing time.
Sure, try some different things, see what works. Maybe you can get some more out of your guys in different ways in the game time experience. There's the kick.
And it's over their head. So it looks like IMG is going to start from the 20. I mean, at this point, they might as well put in the backups, because who knows? That'll probably work. Everything's worked for them so far.
Absolutely. And, you know, a blowout game like this is a good opportunity to try some different things, see what you got in the back of the playbook. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to take the pressure off. You want to keep that score. It's a really pretty score that's going to look in the box score tomorrow. 37-7 home win.
Especially against IMG, Felix, of all teams. I never would have expected this.
Well, there just wasn't their night, and that's going to happen to the best of us.
And the IMG is going to hand the ball off, and he's not going to be able to make it through traffic. And right now, the IMG is really getting frustrated as they just continue to shove the Crusaders.
That hole closed so quick. I don't know if you could catch that, but it just collapsed around
Crusaders
that young man.
for no gain, 2nd and 10.
No gain on that, and he's going to take it right back to the point of spot. There's just no room for air, no room to breathe.
Now, Felix, it doesn't look like they're fighting amongst themselves yet, but it looks like they're pretty close.
On the table.
Well, tensions get high in situations like that.
The table.
From the shotgun.
He has step back to pass, and it's going to fall incomplete. Had a little trouble seeing it there for a second because the referee was blocking our view.
Yeah, from my angle, I don't know that I saw a receiver there. He saw something we didn't, or maybe it was a timing play and he just didn't get it right.
I mean, he had to have seen it. He was right there. So,
you know, on the plus side, they got a really nice campus to go back to. So, you know, it'll be a tough ride home, but
I mean, at least they got a good home to go to. And it's going to be up in the air. Oh!
Right there at about the 50-yard line. Another foot, he would have had it.
Goodness gracious, Felix. IMG would not have felt good if that ball would have been picked off.
Just off his fingertips, brings up 4th and 10.
Yeah, nothing going on that
to
drive.
receive the punt, number 20, Ramsey.
Looks like number 20 back there to receive. That Adrian.
Oh my goodness. Holy Toledo, IMG, they went out to punt the ball again, and of course it did not go their way. And the Crusaders now have the ball in what looks like to be the red zone.
Snap is fumbled, the Crusaders recover. 1st and goal.
You know, we've been seeing that all night long. Their commitment to the shotgun has had some spotty exchanges between the center and the quarterback. And I think we're just the whole thing just seems to be they're lacking timing. They're lacking that whatever that special quality is. You know it when you see it.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing it.
I'm not seeing it either, Felix.
Look,
I mean,
these young men have tried to work so hard tonight under these conditions.
They have, and it seems to me like we were talking about it before the game, how the weather might affect these teams. It looks like it's only seemed to affect IMG.
Well, they came.
As TC ran the ball again, but now they're tumbling.
Well, it looked like at the start of the second half that that they had made some adjustments. That the Ascenders were making some adjustments. They came out more. They were crisper. They were much more aggressive. They certainly seemed a little faster. But I think what really, if we go back and we look at what the tail of this game is going to be, it's going to be that when they did score and Tampa Catholic fired right back and answered with another touchdown. And I think at that point, the momentum changed for good, and it's never come back to the.
Couldn't be truer, Felix. It looked like they had something going for a short amount of time, but it did not work out. And the Crusaders are going to run the ball outside again. And it's going to be a flag on the offense.
Well, we thought there was a flag. Maybe not. Might have just dropped it.
There it is. There it is, folks. And it's been very rare tonight, but the Crusaders are going to be taking that long walk back.
Well, you know, they've been very disciplined throughout the game, and I think that's one of the things that Coach Jairus McIntyre is going to point to in this victory. They came out, they played very disciplined football. They didn't allow their emotions to get checked up or down, and certainly the euphoria of coming out and having a home opener blowout. Remember, these guys had a shutout for most of the game. And here we are now, 37-7 in the closing moments.
And since you were talking about that, Felix,
sure.
Definitely from what I've seen, that is a major game change between this year's team and last year's team because it.
Oh, my.
And it looks like a helmet's been knocked off. Knocked off one of the Crusaders, and of course there will be a flag on that play.
It was a nice little rollout, and I just think that the protection broke down, or he just wasn't able to get outside. And the defense was coming fast, but you never want to see helmets flying off, though.
Never. It doesn't matter how bad you're losing, Felix. You don't want to get it to that point. Anyway, what we were talking about right before that play, one of the major changes for this team between this year and last year, and just the last couple of years in general for Tampa Catholic, has been flags and penalties. There have been a lot of games that they have cost a lot of opportunities because of jumping off sides or a flag of some sort.
You can't win a championship that way.
No, certainly not.
And I think it comes down a lot of the time, the more disciplined teams, the team that walks away with a victory.
And it looks like that's the way Tampa Catholic has been tonight.
And here we are now.
The Crusaders are set to go again. Let's see what they'll do on this play. They're going to try and run the ball again. The ball gets loose, but he's off to the races.
Well, I think what you saw right there is taking advantage of what you got. You know, making something happen. They talk about this all the time in practice. Don't wait for something to happen. Make it happen. Keep that ball moving forward.
I mean, that's one thing, and that's another thing we've seen tonight, Felix. Whenever the ball has gotten loose for Tampa Catholic, they've been able to react well to it and literally make something out of nothing.
That kid was fast, though, huh?
Oh, my goodness. That's another one of the young horses that TC has got in their stable.
Pitches it now to the outside, cutting back inside.
Oh! He's going to be brought down. But they
call for a touchdown.
Well, folks, it's late, but you know what? Holy Toledo! That's another touchdown for the Crusaders. The score is now 43-7. I mean, I will say this, Felix, that,
what's that?
Tonight they really have honored Coach David Lewis because they're sticking to their what really has been TC's bread and butter, something that he brought to this school and something that he learned from John McKay.
With 5:15 left, IMG 7 and your Crusaders 43.
That was kind of right up the middle, wasn't it? Yeah, it must have been a tall one.
Yeah, it was.
A little bit to the left, far side of the field, kind of in the middle. That's
What a little crosstalk there. Nobody's going to be able to question the outcome of this game. I mean, it's not as though they've been throwing the ball downfield. It's not like they're trying to run the score. They're just playing hard-nosed football, and it just so happens that when they call plays, they turn into touchdowns.
That they have, Felix. Literally everything has gone the Crusaders' way tonight.
I definitely don't feel like that was any attempt to, embarrass the other team or anything. I just think that these two guys on paper seem like they were matched up pretty well, but
For the Crusaders, number 35,
it definitely has not worked out that way tonight, Felix.
What a way to start a season.
And I mean, at this point, it's almost like anything. Whenever the Crusaders touch the ball at this point, it's almost like it turns to gold because they always make something out of nothing.
Be interesting to see if they can carry this momentum into next week's game and throughout the season.
Which, can you remind me who they play again
Sure.
next week, Felix?
As we're looking ahead to the schedule, that'll be Friday, September 11th. And that'll be Friday, September 11th. They'll be home against Clearwater Central Catholic, and that'll be a 7 p.m. start time.
You know what,
Hope
Felix?
you'll all join us here again.
Yes, sir, Felix. And we were talking about momentum. If they were able to play this way against IMG tonight, and they're able to carry this momentum over to CCC next week, this is going to be a pretty fun season.
Indeed it is. It's got all the makings of a real classic. And we will just have to wait and see. There's the snap. Good run. Nothing fancy there, just up the gut. With just under 3 minutes now.
They're set to go again. They're going to hand the ball off, and they're going to get stopped. Pretty much, IMG is just trying to, at this point, they are playing for pride,
Yeah,
Felix.
at this point, you're just playing for pride. Look, you don't want to get anybody hurt. You want to just finish up nicely. If you can score a touchdown or if you put even, maybe kick a field goal and put something on the board just for pride's sake, I think that it would be a way to walk away with something here.
Absolutely true, Felix. They're going to drop back to pass, and it's going to fall incomplete. I mean, they are playing for pride at this point, but literally every single thing that they're trying just has not seemed to work.
Well, we talked about it earlier. The timing, I think, maybe hasn't been there. This group may not have been as cohesive as they would have liked to have been. I don't know that the weather played much of a factor. I think that early on we had a lot of rain on the field.
We did.
But I feel like at this point, I just think they were outmatched in a lot of key categories. I don't know that they thought the Crusaders would be as fast as they are. And actually another simple
and
fighting for it.
Oh. Well, let's see here a minute, folks.
He's mad too, so he got thrown by a little guy. Look at him, he's mad.
Well, it looks like it's still IMG's ball. Not sure what just happened right there, but looks like they were able to hang on to it.
Yep.
And IMG's gonna fumble the ball a little bit again, but they're gonna be able to hang on to it. And really, Felix, at this point, this game is over as the clock is winding down to end the game.
Tonight's broadcast of Crusader football is brought to you by Tampa Catholic High School. Today's broadcast, any unauthorized transmission, rebroadcast, or redistribution without the express permission of Tampa Catholic High School, IMG Academy, and the Archdiocese of St. Petersburg is strictly prohibited.
And it's going to be 3, 2, 1, and that's the ball game, folks. And you know what? I'm gonna borrow a phrase from I mentioned him before earlier in the broadcast of the great Jack Buck, but I'm gonna apply it for the Crusaders, and that's gonna be. That's a winner for the Crusaders as they take this one by the score of 43-7 over IMG.
It was hard fought. It was exciting in a lot of places. And I think it's a testament to putting in the work in the offseason. Look, these guys did not get the opportunity to have traditional conditioning. They didn't have the benefit of a lengthy postseason. Let's be honest, with what's going on in the world, the opportunity to really hone your craft has been limited. But you wouldn't know it by watching this game. These guys came out looking like world beaters, and it's a testament to the discipline that the coaching staff has instilled. But more importantly, I think it has a lot to do with the winning attitude that this coaching staff has instilled in these young men.
That is true, Felix. They did bring in some new coaches. During the offseason. Coaches with winning tradition and serious attitudes about the game. Obviously, during the offseason, that has been applied on these players, along with the other long-standing coaches with Tampa Catholic, such as Richard Batman Wood and Bob Enriquez.
I'll say this. I think that winning is contagious. I think that a winning attitude, it spreads throughout a locker room. I think that everybody having their eye on what the goal is. I think that these guys have shown a mental toughness by not losing control of this game, by staying focused and showing that mental toughness as well as the physicality of their game tonight. This could be the start of something really special here at Crusader Field, and I'm glad that all of you had an opportunity to share it with us tonight. Any final thoughts?
Well, Felix, you know what? Definitely. They played an outstanding game tonight, and this truly was for Coach Lewis. I know this team has made him very proud. And, as we said earlier, of course, this season is dedicated to his memory. And the way they played tonight, I'm not calling it. I'm not calling my shot like Babe Ruth here, but you know what? If they play the way they played tonight all season, they might actually win a state ring. And for it to be during this season with this group of players, that would be absolutely extraordinary.
Certainly an impressive debut and an exciting start to the season. For my producer, Johnny Torres, and our friends at Falkenberg Productions, for the award-winning play-by-play analysis of Max Quevedo.
Oh, thank you, Felix.
My name is Felix Menendez, and we will see you back here next week for more exciting Crusader action.